Robert with Robert Nixon Real Estate here. I did a little interview last week with Aaron, and I'm going to try to keep doing them weekly every Thursday, and Aaron said he's going to hold me accountable, so we'll see how that goes. We're going to interview a banker this week, and we're going to interview Cheryl Hildebrand next week, but she was away, so Tanya decided that she would interview me. So we'll see how that goes. It should be interesting, but go ahead, everyone. This is Tanya Nixon.
Hi, everyone. So my first question for Robert is, how long have you been a real estate agent for?
How long? Almost 3 years. Feels like forever, but no. No, it's going on 3 years, so not too long, but enough to get my feet wet.
Nice. Why are you passionate about real estate? Would be my next question.
I didn't get to pre-read these like Aaron did I?
No.
Why am I passionate about real estate? That's a hard one. I was always into real estate investing from back when I had a friend or a coworker. I was on shovels as a mechanic. We had no work, so we were sitting there for like 12 hours a day doing nothing. And he brought up this book called Real Estate Investing in Canada, or 97 Tips to Canadian Real Estate Investing. So I ordered that and I actually read it twice, once highlighting everything while at work, and that sort of got me interested in investing. So that was after, though, when I bought my first house back in 2009 was when I got interested in it. So then the investing sort of triggered that, and then I sort of got involved in a network called Rain and started studying real estate investing, and I just figured it made sense to get into real estate sales because of that. So I guess that's sort of why I'm passionate. I think real estate's neat. When I bought my first house, I really wanted to get into real estate. I had been laid off. Well, I got laid off about 6 months after I bought my first house, so I thought about getting my license then. And yeah, I just think it's neat. I don't know. It's a lot of work, obviously, to get into a house when you're young, and I thought it was inspiring to be able to let other people or help other people do that. That sort of makes sense in a really roundabout way.
Awesome. So what made you decide to get into real estate? You kind of already covered that a little bit.
Touched on that, yeah. My real estate agent in Fort St. John, I actually met with him and was going to get into it back then, but it just never transpired. So,
okay.
Buying my first house.
Did you ever think about becoming a real estate in Fort St. John when you were?
I did. I went and talked to him, met with him in the office, and discussed what was entitled to do it. And I actually I was on EI at the time because I bought my first house, got laid off. So I went to EI and I told them I want to do something different. I think I was actually between getting my welding ticket and real estate license, and EI basically told me that they won't pay for you to go back and do any schooling when you're totally employable, and it's expected that as a mechanic in trades that you will get laid off here and there. So I did, but it didn't happen. I continued my apprenticeship after that.
Okay. So tell me about your first real estate transaction. You kind of touched upon it last week.
Yeah, so that was Aaron Belmore and his family, Trisha, and his 3 kids, 3 rowdy boys. I guess I was doing my course, and I don't know if it was Aaron or Trisha touched base with me over Facebook, and I just started connecting with her and basically dealt with Trisha and did some stuff online. And then when they came here and they were ready, I put in the footwork and showed them some houses. I sort of said it was a lot of work, but I didn't really mean the footwork having to go to Courtney. It was more just a complicated transaction. It was interesting, and Aaron was my first sale, and I went to junior high school and high school with him, so that was pretty neat. And he's a pretty inspirational guy with his real estate investing. He's supporting his family with it, so that's inspirational. And it was good that he was my first sale and something I can look back on and reflect on.
Awesome. So what would you say is the most challenging aspect of being a real estate agent?
Most challenging aspect? I had lunch with a past client today. He's a contractor in town. I was sitting not in the video really. He's a contractor in town and a past client. And he was asking me because I was like, people only really see the little bits here and there of what you're doing for them. So it looks really, really easy. Or like you're maybe getting paid a lot of money to not do very much. But it's sort of the back end, I guess, that is the challenging part. So building a clientele and marketing yourself, and of course, that's hard, getting your name out there and trying to find new clients and stuff. I'd say it came fairly easy for me in the beginning, but it's definitely not easy. And then obviously, like, every deal is different, and it's a legal thing, right? Where you have to make sure you have all the right subjects and stuff. So make sure you cover someone's butt, whether being a buyer or a seller, and make sure all the bases are covered so that no one has any legal ramifications after. That was the biggest learning curve in the beginning, is learning how to write contracts and look at every deal differently. If it has a septic, if it has a well, if it has, something pending on title, and that stuff can come up last minute. I had a deal that came up and it had a certificate of pending litigation filed on it, like last minute 2 deals, and it was like you have to try and put out the fire. So sometimes putting out the fire is the hardest. Sometimes it's just sticking to your routine and marketing and trying to find the business. So it's a pretty complicated business all around.
What is your greatest accomplishment in real estate, do you think?
I think we asked Aaron that one too, didn't you? Similar
did.
questions. So I don't know if I have a single greatest accomplishment, but I guess one thing would be my family's farm that I listed as far as like a direct thing, and they had it for sale for a long time, so I listed it. And I'd like to say it was all me, and I did the hard work of getting it sold, but it's sometimes it's just timing, and I definitely did do a good job and got it to go into multiple offers after 7 years on the market with no offers, and I think that was pretty cool to get to be able to sell my family's farm that they'd have listed forever, and finally it's gone and they can move on, and yeah, so that was cool.
Nice. How do you evaluate your success as a real estate agent?
That's a hard one too. I don't really evaluate my success. I guess always growing and always learning. I've always sort of liked learning and evaluating my success that way, I guess.
Okay.
I do a little bit of goal setting and stuff that you have to sort of do to keep yourself motivated, but
and how's that working?
I don't know if my clients are happy. Obviously, I'm doing the right thing, right? And obviously moving forward on my own. So clients are number one.
Clearly. What are your long-term goals for real estate?
My long-term goals for real estate. I always found being in a smaller town that there's not a lot of teams. There's like individual teams where there's 2 agents, which with all the changes in real estate, teams are a little harder to run, but I think there's still a thing that can be done. I think to have a team with other agents working under you or for you or with you or whatever you want to call it, I think that is something that would be a long-term goal, and to have a bigger group of people running your business and being a little more of be able to represent your clients better because there's more people working for you.
Do you have any side projects or anything that you want to get involved in to help grow your real estate
Side
business?
Projects?
Like networking groups or anything like that?
Want to or have to?
Want to.
There's all sorts of things with real estate. Like you could sit there on a computer and learn all day, but obviously being belly and meeting people is huge. I was talking to my client today a bit about that today at lunch, but I am going to try and start to do more of that. What's the Facebook Live is one thing. I'm going to start to do some more Instagram and Twitter to sort of get people to know me and know my business. We're going to maybe try and start a networking group as well. And that's sort of something my coaches sort of talked to me about, and it's kind of a key part of growing a business, I guess, right? And having people that can come to me and have contractors I can send to them and other people. So I guess that's sort of what that's about, networking with people in the community and growing my business that way. I don't know what else. Probably lots.
All right, and I guess my final question for you.
Buying my own rentals, my own properties eventually when I don't focus on everyone else.
Yeah. My final question is, my final question. Do you have any tips for someone who is interested in becoming a real estate agent?
Not really. It's apparently a really hard course, and I think in any industry or anything you do in life, people are going to tell you it's really hard. I didn't really research it. I just said I'm going to get my real estate license, and I set a date in my calendar for spring of, I think it was 2016 or something, and I went, I'm going to quit, I'm going to do my 2 weeks of my job, and I'm going to do it. And I never really did any research. And I think if I had, everyone would have just tried to scare me out of it. It's too hard, you can't do it, this and that. And I did have some things like that happen, but just get it done and do it if it's what you want to do, and take the risk, I guess. But, it is expensive to get started, so that's obviously a little bit of a tough thing. I did have some money saved up, and when I did start, I actually ended up starting a year earlier than I thought. I just was done with what I was doing and said it's time to move on. I just jumped right into the course and got it done. So just get it done and have confidence, I guess, would be the main thing. And maybe join a team. Joining a team in the beginning, I think, helps a lot, but in the long term, you don't have as big of a business yourself. So I think to get started, that might be an idea that I thought I could have maybe done, but I didn't. So yeah, just interesting, because with a team, you get fed leads and you get the opportunity to learn how to run the sort of back end of the business, writing the offers, work with the clients before you have to start building your clientele, right? So you have a little less on your plate getting started, right? It's a hard one to get into.
For sure.
Anything else?
All right, well, that's all the questions I've got for you.
Perfect. How long do we have? I was going to say, thanks for watching, if anyone's out there, and take care.
Bye.
Have a good weekend. Bye.